Hi, this is Jade Parker again on the second session of NationBuilder training. So I will go ahead and go to our dashboard. So we left off in the Wharton Club of Boston, and we finished discussing the dashboard. And so next I will actually skip people and go to the website tab if you're looking at this menu on the right-hand side. Now, as you can imagine, the website tab correlates to what you see on the front end of the website. So let me make sure we have a tab open so that we can reference what we're talking about on both ends. In the control panel, as you scroll down, you'll see a list of the available pages that exist within the site. You'll notice that some are bold. Those pages are featured on the top navigation or top nav. You'll also notice that as you come to the second column under the slug, which is the part that's included in the URL. So an example here would be whartonboston.com/news, about, etc. So next to each instance of the slug, you do see a number. And the number correlates to the number of subpages beneath that page. So let's talk about what these look like when we are on the front end. So top navigation correlates to these items as we hover across the top. And as we hover, you will see that some drop-down items appear. And those are subpages. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages are subpages of the About page. And that's your top navigation that's bolded. And so in order to change that top navigation, you can. It's pretty easy at any given point. There's a section called Top Nav. That's what we call it for short, where you can drag and drop any of these items. And I'll show you later in the training how to add or take away one of the pages from the top nav. Similarly to top nav, we have supporter nav. Supporter nav, click one more button to get there. Looks pretty similar to the top nav in the back end, and it functions pretty similarly. You can drag and drop and add and subtract items, but the supporter nav appears as you scroll down the screen when you're on the front end of the website. You can have up to 5 sections. We call them widgets. So the first here is the news section, news widget. Second is the events calendar widget, contact us, our sponsors, and how complete is your profile. And these all correspond with the items featured within the supporter nav. So that's what you're looking at as you scroll down. I'm going to go back to pages. And I imagine that the page that you'll most be, or the pages that you will most often be editing are event pages. And so I always tell people it's faster to click the number to get to the subpage that you're looking for. Another option is to search page. So if you ever find yourself lost in the back end and remember a few keywords from your page, just type in what you're looking for and you should be able to find the page. But for now, we're going to go to the events calendar. I'll click the number 4, and then I see upcoming events. Further subpages, I will click that 195. And so here, you come to a list of all the existing upcoming events on that calendar. And we already have a test event set up, which is great. The way to set up a new event, you would click this blue new event button. It would ask you to give the event a name, and then you would go along with this very similar process. So I'll click edit in my test event so we can get an idea of what that looks like. Now, when you go into edit, it takes you to what are the event settings, which are specific to an event page type. There are a variety of page types. A basic page type just allows you to put photos, videos, words, links, and things like that, while the event settings give you a different set of options that are more unique to setting up an event. Before we do event settings, let's go over page settings, because those are universal for every single page that you will create on your website. So as you scroll down these, you'll get to name the page as well. It will get a corresponding slug. You will decide where this page lives. So this page is a subpage of upcoming events because that is the whole calendar. And then the title and headlines seem to follow automatically from the name and slug. You can change the status of this page. So right now, since I'm working on it, I'm keeping it unlisted until I'm ready to post it on the website. Once I'm ready, I will publish it. You will most likely toggle between these two as something specific to event pages. They expire as the event date passes. So you won't have to do anything with them. They just go to the past events calendar. And so they'll expire and go there. And then the rest of these options we don't really use for clubs, so I won't go into them. If you've got any questions about them, feel free to reach out to us. So I'll keep it as unlisted for now. Another important factor is who can view this page. We typically keep it for anyone. Logged in visitors is not the most useful because technically anyone online can set up an account for themselves and log in, quote unquote. That doesn't mean that they have alumni status or access or anything, but it's just not the most limiting if you're looking to limit it to a certain population. And then members, which is great if you do have some specific information for members that you only want to be visible to them. I don't recommend making events visible to members only because you do want your non-members to see those events and entice them to purchase a membership seeing these exclusive events for members. Control panel users are people who have access to the backend, like you and me, and admins are a specific level, which is just Wharton staff. So these you shouldn't need. You should toggle between anyone and members for a lot of your content. And then, as mentioned, you can checkbox include in top nav or supporter nav if that's what you'd like. And then you could go back to those pages we were on previously to reorder them. The rest of them I usually keep off. They don't affect much except for allowing comments. That might open yourself up to some spam that you don't want, so I usually turn the comments off and I'll save the page. All right, now let's go into event settings that are specific to that type of page. So I'm setting up an event. Most of these are pretty self-explanatory and straightforward. Time zone, date, length, venue, maximum capacity. If you've got a contact person, their information can be included there. On the right side, you can decide whether or not you want to sell tickets if you are connected to a payment processor. If you've got questions about payment processors, please reach out to your club liaison and or the Global Clubs inbox. There are a number that we support on the NationBuilder platform, but we do recommend NationBuilder payments for all domestic, Canadian, and European clubs at this time. If you are selling tickets, you do need a specific page to purchase them on, which is the tickets page. It should be already set up on your site, and that's the only page you should ever use for purchasing tickets. Another aspect of selling tickets is making sure that you can track where the money's coming from. So that's done through a donation tracking code, and that you have to enter per event. As you can see, this one's a bit dated, but it works because it's for a test event. Which is what I'm creating. And so an example of this would be, making sure that it's labeled correctly so that you can account for how much money came in from a specific event versus membership purchases, things like that. The last part, also pretty self-explanatory. So maybe I don't want to sell tickets. Maybe I have a free event and I just want to offer RSVPs. I can do that and allow guests and show a list of who RSVP'd on that page. The rest are pretty straightforward about any information you'd like to collect. For this one, I do want to sell tickets, so I'll go ahead and save my settings there. Next, we'll hop over to advanced. As you'll notice, we'll kind of work our way all the way across these menu items. The most things that are important here are that you enter the thank you page. That should be already set up on your site. It's a confirmation that their ticket purchase went through. It says thank you, and it gives contact information for a webmaster or administrator. So you must have that, or else people kind of get stuck in an endless loop and they're not sure if their payment went through. Another thing that's important here, which is optional actually, is to tag the RSVP. We used to have to do this so that we could keep track of everyone who RSVP'd for a specific event if you wanted to send out email communication to them later. But now our reporting has evolved that you don't have to use a tag if you don't want to. So this is just optional if you'd like. Save that setting. All right, next I want to go to intro. Intro is really just where you put the event description and any pertinent information that guests might need to know before registering. So it's all the text and photos and anything else on the page that you'd like. Very straightforward text editor. Next, I'll head to location. So as you may remember, we did put the name of the venue on the basics page, but we didn't put an address. And here you can enter an address, which links to Google Maps, and we'll offer Google Map directions for folks who are clicking on your site in the event that we are able to have physical events in the future. All right, and I'll save that location. Well, this one's already saved. That's our office. And so I'll keep going over to auto response. So the auto response is the confirmation email that people receive after registering for your event. A lot of it has information filled in that's pretty automatic within these liquid text brackets. You don't want to touch those. They are pretty helpful and offer, personalized information about the event, how many tickets someone purchased, and the price, as well as their name. You can feel free to edit any information that is not in the liquid text bracket. So say you have special instructions or a Zoom link that you need to provide, you should put it here. And you can go ahead and save that email. And so once people RSVP or purchase a ticket, they will automatically receive this message. We don't use text keywords or social, but we do use tickets. We talked a little bit about that previously. So the great thing about this is that you can create ticket levels for the different groups that you are trying to engage. So often we get asked, can I create members-only tickets and non-member tickets? Yes, you can. We have instructions on how to do that specifically on WhartonOfficers.com. I'll give an example here. I'll edit a ticket level that was already created. And you'll see some of this text is it'll be in the instructions, but it's part of what differentiates member tickets and blocks them off from non-members. And that's not visible on the front end of the website. So I have my member ticket. I'll make a description. I don't need it. Then give my amount, $5, and how many tickets are available at this limit. If I'm all set with that, I'll save it. Let me go back to ticket levels. And I can have a non-member ticket as well. Right now it's labeled as other, but you get the gist. You can also differentiate by membership level. So a lot of clubs might have a gold member, silver member, and regular membership. If you'd like to create tiered ticket prices for each of those, you are able to do that as well with your ticket levels and the instructions that are available on WhartonOfficers.com. You're able to add a host if you'd like. And then once people start RSVPing or purchasing tickets, that information will all be collected in this tab. So this is a test one. It's really only NationBuilder support who's coming to my event, but you can see how many they purchased and at what price. I could add new RSVPs back here. Say if someone reaches out to me and is a VIP for the club and just does it that way, that's fine. But as people start RSVPing, their information will populate here. You may want more detailed information about your potential guests, so you can always pull another list of them with full details in the People tab, which we will go over later. And the last portion of this is attendees. So from the RSVP list, that will appear here with checkboxes. As you can see, I checked off NationBuilder support to say that they came to my event. You can do this for any of your events if you'd like to collect data on RSVP'd versus actual attendees. And with this, I'll say we can head back to the main screen, and I'll kind of highlight what I call the breadcrumbs up at the top that's kind of showing us where we've come from and how we got there all the way to upcoming events. So I just want to go back to Wharton Club of Boston. If you ever get lost, you can go up there and see where you came from to try to backtrack. And we'll go back to our regular list of pages. And so that's kind of an overview of how pages work. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to us, your club liaison, or the Global Clubs inbox at globalclubs@wharton.upenn.edu. Thank you.